Alison Ferns here with you until 4 o'clock.
There are places I remember in my life. I love you more.
And it's time to hear the life story of Drew Cameron, who will be performing this Thursday in a concert at the Royal British Legion in Polegate. You laugh there. Does it feel funny to be sharing your life story with us? You thought you were just coming in to do a few impressions, but no. It's like this is your life without the red book, Drew. I hope you're ready for this.
You know you're part of my life, and that's a long, long story.
Well, absolutely. I was just reminding Drew that I used to dance behind him on Eastbourne Pier. I have fond memories. You'd be at the front singing Chantilly Lace, and I'd be behind with a feather headdress. Oh, what a beautiful
Yes.
image that
exactly.
paints for the listener. Now, of course, people will probably best know you for your performances on Britain's Got Talent, but of course you were performing for a long time before you did that show. So how do you feel about it? I mean, I know a lot of entertainers say, I wouldn't go on it because it could go horribly wrong. And some people said, you know what, it was the boost my career needed. It was fantastic and I'm so glad I did it. Yeah. Which camp are you in?
My camp. I've always been... fairly cynical. So I do have a strong viewpoint. And when I did it, it was very early on in the show, so you weren't quite sure what was going to happen, and you knew that they were going to take the mickey out of a lot of people, and that was my career. So I thought, there's two ways. It's either going to go very well and I'm going to earn some money and respect, or they're going to ruin my career for a whole year.
It's a gamble, isn't it?
Massive gamble, and I was just petrified I've ever been performing, because it is manipulative, and there's lots of stories that you probably heard about, which I could go into.
It's slightly contrived, isn't it? You can tell that as a viewer.
It's very contrived.
Things are slightly set up from time to time.
Oh yes,
I would say.
A lot. And the thing that got me, and this is my mental attitude towards it at the time, they came in with the camera, as they do backstage, and they said to me, "Okay, Drew, tell us how much this is your dream." And
Tell me you didn't say you were going to give it 110% and that your life would be over if you didn't get through.
Exactly. And I said to them, do you know what? I'm sort of in my 50s. I'm not 12. This is not actually my dream.
The end of my life if this doesn't work.
Winning a talent contest is not really my dream. You know, there's a lot more serious things. So I took it as they were doing it. A dream, you know. And now, to be honest, do you think I might play the game, because there are friends, you know, there's the local guy, Steve Hewlett's a best friend of mine, and his career and his potential money earnings has improved, and you can use it for your own advantage. And I even now, after that, I now realise that even if they make you look an idiot, you still get booked. You still get...
Well, you can still put it on the poster, as seen on Britain's Got Talent.
Yes. No, hardly even people really remember me, but it's on my publicity, and it's there, and it's true. And most of the public are like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
You should have got yourself a sob story. We needed that ballad to come in underneath, you know, and that sort of little sad face, you know, and that would have... You never know.
There was afterwards. I don't know if you know the story. The reason I didn't get into the final was because a week later... I actually broke my leg at Basvic playing football, and I snapped it in half. It was the weak bones.
True.
And so when they rang up and said, I said, I can't do it.
Oh no, I
so
didn't
there was
know
a sub
that.
story.
Yeah, but it just came a little bit too late.
But I wasn't really bothered. I thought, I don't care. I don't, you know. Except they might have completely messed me up again. So.
But overall, it was a good thing.
It's even better now.
You did it.
I'm getting more. I've even got a phone call today, because they knew I was on Britain's Got Talent and they want me to do a gig. So it's
it gets your name out there.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I remember seeing you on Britain's Got Talent. Fabulous impressions. I do remember, yeah. Well, of course, I was like, look, it's him from Eastbourne Pier.
It's all downhill from Eastbourne Pier.
You're telling me. So take us through some of your impressions. I mean, there's quite a diverse range of characters you do.
Yeah, I actually started when I was at primary school, so I've gone through the very old ones, and I've tried to keep up to date. And the newest one I'm trying to evolve is Keith Lemon, because I get young people of your age. Can you do Keith Lemon? Thought all that stuff's a bit like that, and I said, "Bang tardy, no, it's a potato." So I'm trying to get. The only thing is, I'm trying to find something funny to say about him. But
well, that's the thing. You've got to incorporate into the act. Once you've got the voice, you then got to find a way of making it work.
It's not how good the impression is it's how something funny to do with them. So you can be the most brilliant impressionist, but if you can't find something funny to say, there's no point.
No,
is
it's
there?
got to be entertaining.
So,
what was the very first impression you ever did then? You said you started doing this as a kid at primary school.
And I know that because I met a school nurse in a jumble sale years ago. She said I was a school nurse, and she said I was doing it when I was at primary school, so I don't remember. And then it was called cheeky little so-and-so, which means I was told off, and then when they turned around, I would take them off, as it were. But I know the first one I ever did as a celebrity voice was Derek Nimmo.
Oh yes, yeah.
He did an advert on a program as a mini sponges. Oh look, mini sponges. That kind of thing. That's what I did first of all.
So at what point did you think, actually, I could make this a career?
I was, let me think, I was at a holiday park, and there was a scout from a London stage school there, and I did a talent contest, and she said, you should come to our school, and then I did Opportunity Knocks, and I won on the clapometer. The older people listening now, well, you might know it because you're a very popular DJ, Pickety Witch.
Oh, yeah.
On at the
I
same
love
time.
the fact they had a clapometer.
Yes.
I just think that's brilliant. I think they should bring that back. Forget the phone lines. Forget calling in. Bring back the clapometer. That's what we want to see.
Apparently, it actually really well. I saw a documentary on the TV.
I saw that and I thought, there's no way.
There's
got to
no
be
way.
faking that clapometer.
Yeah, there's got to be a man behind it.
Apparently not. That's the story they're sticking to. That must have been an amazing experience, though.
Yeah, again, it was a bit sort of vague in my memory. Yeah, it was just there, it happened, and it was a big thing. But of course, there was no video. So, and I got in contact with the producer and Huey Green, etc. afterwards, and they'd wiped it. BBC had wiped the tapes.
Really? Oh, so there's no
only some
footage.
photographs and some letters, and that's all. No footage.
Wow. And yet, I was reading here, you are the 13th most viewed comedian on YouTube. So footage is important to you.
Oh, that's true. Wow. Well, I'm not quite sure where you saw that. But
I don't know if it's true, but I read it online. It must be true.
No, it was true at that time. I think it's slightly changed now. I think that was like a year ago, or a bit more. But that was the case, but probably not now.
Well, still, it's a great claim to fame. So who are your most popular impressions now when you're out gigging? Who do people really
It's what people
like?
want to hear. So probably the most important thing, and I do it as a meet and greet also, any fools and horses, you know what I mean? It was popular, ain't you think? So it's that character, and then there is, all I need to say is, I've had an accident. I need some compensation. And of course, there's Homer Simpson.
Brilliant.
And it's all big characters. Oh, well, yeah, it's Alan Carr, yay. And I sometimes, if I'm not using props, I say, if you want to do impressions, you have to start with one and move into the other. So if you start with Michael Caine and then pretend he's gay, then he goes into Alan Carr.
You're right. I'd never picked up on that line before. So you're going to be incorporating all of these impressions into the show on Thursday night then?
Yes, that's right. And we're going to start off with an Only Fools and Horses tribute. So there's Uncle Albert, Del Boy, Rodney and the car.
Brilliant.
And we're going to turn up outside the venue and then take some photographs, etc., and then go in and do the show.
Oh, well, that'll be it. People love Only Fools and Horses. They can't get enough of it, can they?
No.
They're addicted to
Exactly.
it. And you're doing the show in aid of 2 animal rescue centres. Why those particular charities?
One of them is mine.
Ah, well, that makes sense then. Which one's yours?
Mine is Beaks and Squeaks, and when I was a little boy, there was only 2 things I wanted to do, and that was performing and looking after animals, which I was doing, and I do that now. So when I'm not performing, and I don't like touring, at the moment I've got 4 crows and a hedgehog and a couple of pigeons.
Really?
And so that's always what I want to do. That's why I don't want to be a star, because I don't want to be away. I want to look after animals as well. So I've got this, and I've been working very recently with another group called Seahaven Bird Rescue in Seahaven. They're a couple of young people, and they are extremely good, very, very good at looking after animals, and we help one another out. And because they've helped me out with certain things, they're struggling for money, and they have to work part-time to get some money in to live. And so I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. We're going to do this, and, we'll do it between us.
Right. So how does it work then? If someone finds an injured bird or whatever, they give you a call?
Yes, I try and keep low profile because I can't have too many. They get loads and loads in, and you make a contact with a vet or pet shop, etc., and they will know who to get hold of. So if you find something that's injured, you make a phone call.
So that's Beaks and Squeaks Wildlife Rescue in Hove and Seahaven Bird Rescue in Newhaven. And as I say, the charity show is on their behalf. So as well as you, it's also starring Steve Hewlett, who of course was fourth on, was it last year's Britain's Got Talent?
Last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just remind people of his act.
He's a ventriloquist, and he's a resident of Eastbourne. Most people know him.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. In fact, he's been on the show. Lovely guy.
Yeah.
So if people want to get hold of tickets, how can they get them?
Well, they'd get them on the door.
Right.
But if they want to be able to speak to someone, probably best if they contact me, and I'll pass them on to someone who's... Why it's in Eastbourne is that there is a promoter there who's helping me.
Sure.
And so it's going through him. So if they phone me, then I can put them into contact.
Okay, so it's happening this Thursday at the Royal British Legion in Polegate. As Drew says, you can either get tickets on the door or you can give Drew a call. What's your number?
Shall I say it now?
Yeah.
It's 0788 684 6438.
Fabulous. And how much do tickets cost?
They're £8.
Okay, and what time does it all kick off at?
7:30 is when the trotters all come in, you know what I mean? Yeah. Hello, Bill.
Is there any one impression that you've always really wanted to be able to do, but that you just can't get a handle on? Doesn't matter how many times you try, doesn't matter how many times you practice, you just can't get it.
Well, I think there's been many... That lately, it's... I thought, I'll do John Bishop.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't nail it. I get there, you know, there's lots of people around. And the accent isn't quite there, and it's
there, but you just need a little bit more to incorporate it in.
I know. There's this doing that, you know, but it's not.
Yeah.
And actually, I can't do accents. I can do characters. So if I do a Liverpool accent, it has to be like Paul O'Grady, honest to God, you know. It has to be like him. But if you say just do a Liverpool accent, it'll drift between different other accents.
But if it's a character, then you can get into it. Is it true that you once performed at a wake?
It was in Eastbourne, and a woman died laughing at my act.
No way. While you were performing?
It was just at the end of the performance. She was laughing. I actually wasn't aware that was happening, and she was laughing, and that caused... I don't know the details exactly, but that caused something, and she fell ill, and then she died that night. And the only reason I know was because that following day, the widower phoned me, and he told me, and oh my God, and he said, "Would you perform at a wake?" And I thought, oh my God,
that must have been the strangest gig ever.
Well, in my head it was, because I thought, don't mention anything about death. What? Oh my God! I went there, and it was a celebration. So people were in Hawaiian shirts, etc., and everything was fine. What is kind of strange is, a year later, I was doing another gig down there, and the man came up to me again and said, "Hello, I said, "Oh yeah," and apparently he was ex-SAS and a Royal Protection Officer. Now, if he did blame me for death...
you could have been in trouble.
I won't be here now.
You won't be here to tell the tale.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's been lovely having you in. Thank you so much for coming in and having a chat with us. So this charity show is happening at the Royal British Legion in Polegate this Thursday from 7:30, starring Drew Cameron and Steve Hewlett. You wanted to say something?
I wanted to say that there's a singer and a magician and a comedy duo and a compere on as well. So it's a variety show.
If you need someone in feathers to wiggle behind you while you sing Chantilly Lace, I'm there.
Does it have to be there or in my house?
Linda's been in touch, wants to pass her best wishes on to Drew, who we were just chatting to. Says, lovely to hear you talking to Drew Allison, great talented guy. Would you tell him Linda from Dorking Hall sends her love? We worked together a few years back and now keep in touch on Facebook. I know he's off on tour soon. Don't forget, if you're a performer or if you're